Have I got dragon breath? No. Hi everyone, it's Emma. Today I want to film for you the climate change book tag. I was tagged to do this by Sue Scribes. If you haven't seen her channel, then please check it out. And the original was made up by Nashwa Reid, so also have a look at her channel. I'm a bit of an environmentalist. Well, a lot of an environmentalist, I suppose. I try my best. I try to pick up rubbish every day. I try to choose natural products. I try to use as little as I can and as little packaging as I can. If I can avoid a car journey, then I will. And if I can make a decision that's going to be beneficial to the environment, then I will do. Climate change is scary. I mean, climate change is a reality. And also I'm very concerned about the biodiversity crisis as well, and the fact that we're just damaging this environment. We need to take care of it. Yeah, as well as enjoying talking about books and being thrilled that somebody's tagged me in a book tag. You know, I care about climate change too, and we should all go forth and do something environmentally. Watch my video first, and then we'll go. I'll go and you'll go, and we'll go and do things to save the world. First question: global warming, a book that warms your heart every time that you read it. Well, the book that I want to include for this one is The Art of Racing in the Rain. I read this on audiobook. It's an absolutely lovely book, told from the point of view of a dog, and the reason it's called The Art of Racing in the Rain is to do with the fact that the dog and his owner love car racing. It's basically about kind of the family, the things that happen to this family that own the dog. I don't want to say any more than that because it would give spoilers. It's sad and loving and really beautiful. Honestly, I picked it up, well, downloaded it from Overdrive because it said it was from the point of view of a dog, and I thought that sounded fun. I knew nothing about it, and then when I read it or listened to it, it was so lovely. It's one of those that kind of has you crying, but also is really heartwarming at the same time. I'm hiding round the back of a church. It's the Easter holidays. It has been virtually impossible to film anything or do any work. In fact, I've already tried to film this video once and the kids were such a nightmare that I've had to scrap all the footage. So yeah, I've managed to find 10 minutes spare, and so I wanted to get this tag done because I haven't been on YouTube as much as I'd like. So question 2, renewable energy, a book that renewed or reinforced your opinion on an issue. I've talked about this book before on my favourite books and other videos. My book for this one is The Politics of Breastfeeding by Gabrielle. I read it when I was really feeling strongly that breastfeeding shouldn't have been as difficult as it was, and when I read The Politics of Breastfeeding it made sense of the fact that this is a massive social issue that I just had been unaware of. That fact, it's absolutely fascinating. It makes me feel really, really passionate. I've read the book a couple of times and referenced it a billion times, but it just, every time I read it, it reinforces how I feel about the issue of women who want to breastfeed being able to breastfeed. And I've got my baby right next to me, so you might be able to hear her squeaking in the background too. Question 3, ozone layer, a book with a protective friendship. For this I've chosen The Girl with the Dragon Tattoo and that whole series. You know, that whole dynamic between the two protagonists is one of the best things about the book, in my opinion, because they're such weird characters, but the way that they both protect each other is amazing. Question 4, greenhouse emissions, name a book with a toxic relationship. For this I'm going to go for Gone Girl. I really enjoyed the book up until the very last bit that I found really unbelievable, but then when I started looking up about narcissistic personalities I realised that okay, it's plausible. I mean, it's an extreme version, but people with these tendencies do very, very extreme things. Question 5, fossil fuels, a favourite book from before you were born. Well, I thought I'd be a bit clever here. I was born in 1984, but the book 1984 was written before I was born. I read this on audiobook a few years ago, and the last files, so the last few chapters, corrupted, so I never got to listen to that last bit. I did look up what happened because I just kind of never got around to reading it. One day I should, you know, actually read it. Love the book, but Yeah, in fact my birthday is probably the easiest to remember birthday in the world because it's the 4th of May, so Star Wars Day, May the 4th be with you, and it's 1984. Question 6, Cold Wave, a book with a cooling or relaxing effect on you. For this I've chosen The Life-Changing Art of Tidying Up by Marie Kondo. Last year when I was pregnant with my youngest, I started to panic about the fact that I was going to have 3 children and I had so much stuff already, and I started looking into the minimalism trend, which I know is massive, and I read The Life-Changing Magic of Tidying Up, and I thought it would just give me some ideas on decluttering, but actually it completely changed my viewpoint and has made me a much more relaxed person, because not only did I learn to let go of my objects, that I didn't have to spend time being a custodian of these things, that they are only things. It kind of made me start addressing things in my life in the same way, that if I don't want to do something, I don't have to do it. And if I can make things easier for myself, then I'll make things easier for myself. And I've just learnt, I'm quite an anxious person. Ooh, foghorn. It's really foggy. I've learnt to just let go from reading that book. And if you haven't read it, although there are parts of the book where you start to think that Marie Kondo is a bit mad, it's not that reading the book is relaxing, it's the fact that it relaxed me. Question 7, Extreme Conditions, a book set in extreme conditions. Well, for this I've picked The Ship Who Sang, by Anne McCaffrey. I read this when I was a teenager, and at the time it was one of my favourite books because I'd never read anything that had such a novel idea. It was when I was going through a real sci-fi phase. So in the book, it's about when people are born with physical disabilities, their brains are used to command machines. So the central character in the book becomes the brain of a spaceship. I know that there are issues around the fact of saying that a disabled person, you know, that their brain would be extracted, and like, I get that. At the time things were different, and maybe I didn't get that, and perhaps if I read the book now I would take issue with that. I don't know, because it's been such a long time since I read it. But as soon as I thought of an extreme condition, it's not only the fact that, you know, it's set in space, it's the fact the whole concept is really extreme. Question 8, Changing World, a book that scared you about the future. For this I'm going to choose Silent Spring by Rachel Carson. The concept of this book is that the spring is silent, and I don't know if you'll be able to pick up the bird song in the background of this video along with the traffic. The idea that there would be no bird song because the birds have all died and that springtime would be silent. This book was written in the 60s, and it was all kind of surrounding the controversies around the use of the pesticide DDT that was affecting birds' eggs, meaning that chicks weren't hatching properly. Another foghorn. You know, and it was causing lots of birds to die, and you know, it was basically to call people to action, to say that you can't just use any old chemical, you can't just do anything you want to the environment. Yeah, to me, when I read that, it made me kind of think, wow, you know, just spraying some pesticide on something can have a more far-reaching effect than you would imagine. So yeah, that really did scare me about the future, and I hope with lots of advancements and awareness that the world is perhaps trying to do that less, and we're cleaning up our act. Or is it getting worse? I really don't know. It's scary. That does scare me, that we're just gonna screw everything up. I mean, I try. There's only so much you can do as a person, isn't there? To, you know, use natural things and pick up rubbish and all of that. Anyway, I hope that you've enjoyed my climate change tag, and thank you, Sue, for tagging me in it. I would like to tag Vendi from Caught Between Pages. I've been enjoying her page a lot lately, so please check her out. And May Reads as well. So I hope you enjoyed doing that tag if you haven't done it already. And please like if you did, please subscribe, and I'll see you again for my next video. Bye!